Thank you for joining me for another Quick Hits conversation. I'm Dr. Robyn. I'm the mental MacGyver, providing luxury level support and coaching to executives, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and athletes. With me today, I have Coach M J Tolan. He's a speaker, author, and entrepreneur with 35 years experience. He's lived in 12 countries and is the host of the podcast Mission I'm Possible. And I have Kevin Wash. He's a coach, mentor, author, trainer, and speaker, running a consultancy business specializing in sales for international property development. The question I have for you today: how do you talk about being good at something without sounding like you're bragging? Kevin, kick us off.
Okay, I think on the proviso that you are good, there's no reason at times to demonstrate false modesty. If you put the work into it and the hard yards and you have developed a skill of whatever kind, and it's something that's actually tangible so people can check and find out, I have no problem telling people I'm exceptional at what I do. Good's not even a good enough word for it. And that's not me bragging. It's because I also believe that if people are going to pay for my services, they don't want to pay for mediocrity. They need to know that somebody's good. And I thought also of a scenario. I'm about to have open heart surgery, and I asked the surgeon, "Are you any good at this?" And he said, "Well, I think I can do it." That's not really what I want to hear. I want him to hear, "Don't worry, I've got you. I'm really good at this." I think arrogance and confidence, if displayed in the right manner, are good qualities. The only time it becomes a challenge is when somebody doesn't have the ability to back up what they're saying. And just on that one final thing, it can be very time related. I will tell all of my clients, you'll find out very quickly whether I speak the truth or whether I just make everything up. So when I tell you that I'm very good at something, if you haven't noticed that within 7 working days, then I would probably say goodbye to me.
Well, that's interesting. I kind of looked at it from an experience that I had when I heard the question, and the experience was not with me specifically. It was with someone else. They had won an award. It was like a Grammy. But the way that they went about talking about it was that other people said that they liked it, and to the point where it actually received an award, their particular song. So they weren't really talking about them, that they're great, they're this, they're that. They had used this nice subtle segue that said, well, it's not me personally, but other people seem to have been a fan of this to the point to where it was actually nominated and awarded a Grammy. I'm humbled that it was done. So they wanted to stay in their humility, but at the same time, that third party segue allowed them to put a spotlight on an accolade, well deserved. They weren't as bombastic as some of the other panel members have demonstrated already here this morning, but shout out to Kevin. He got right in the ring with that. So, well, let me tell you how good I am. But this particular person inspired me to go, well, hey, that's a nice subtle way to do it.
So I have a couple of things. One time when I was in Jamaica on vacation, there were 3 guys on a volleyball court, and I walked up to them and I said, "Hey, do you need a fourth?" And they said to me, "Have you ever played before?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've played some." And 2 of the guys laughed and walked under the net and left me with the other guy. And he was like, "All right, fine." Like, he rolled his eyes, "Fine, I'll play with this tourist." And as we walked back, I said, "Where do you like your sets?" And he said, "What?" I said, "Right-handed, left-handed, where do you want your sets?" And we wiped the court with those 2 guys. And then the guys that had walked away were like, "Okay, let's trade partners." And the guy I was playing with was like, "Nope, you didn't want her. Now you can't have her." And so for that week, we ran the court. So in that case, it was really easy to be subtle because I knew within moments I was going to be able to demonstrate, hey, I'm really good at this. However, in my working experience, I don't have the opportunity to say, "Yeah, I'm decent and people pay me money and I try it." Like, that's not how it works. I have to be able to say, "I am phenomenal at this. I have credentials and background you're not going to find anywhere else. And that is just the fact." Is that bragging if it's true?
No, I don't think it is. There are times when humility is a wonderful quality. And so there's 2 great examples you gave there, Robyn. I would never make the statement personally, I'm absolutely exceptional at what I do. But in a professional environment, yes, because in that professional environment, I'm selling my services. And if I don't think I'm good, why is anybody else going to think I'm good? Whereas personally, if people ever ask me, I just say, yeah, I'm in business. How do you? Yeah, I do okay. I pay my normal line is I pay the bills, because again, you get found out very quickly. So it's a timing and a location as to when you're going to promote yourselves and when you're going to be humble.
Yeah, I get behind you there, Kevin, on the it's situational. If I'm on a call or in a meeting and someone says, well, we've got this speaker that we're considering and he's going to do it for this rate, and they start putting me into like a fish market, I'll pull back and I'll say, wait a minute, hang on a second. We're talking about two different things here. So there is a time for you to make a case for yourself. It doesn't have to be braggadocious, but as Dr. Robyn has earned and learned, when you have credentials, sometimes it's the time now to pull those arrows out of the quiver and fire them off.
You make an interesting point there about it depends upon the situation, because there are certainly times where people are talking to me about my credentials and my experience and the things that I've been through, and they're really building it up. And in those cases, I'll tend to downplay it. I'll say something like, oh yeah, I have a CV that would intimidate me if it weren't mine. But if I'm in a position where someone's talking about hiring me, downplaying at that point is the wrong answer.
Absolutely. I totally agree. We basically charge for our services. Mm-hmm. You're paying for knowledge and expertise. So you need to be good, otherwise you can't charge. So I can't sit there and say to people, well, I think I can do it. If somebody asks me to do something that I don't believe is achievable, whether it's the target is unrealistic or the budget to achieve it is unrealistic, I will simply say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. Because all I can do there is damage my own reputation. And as you know, it takes 5 minutes to damage a reputation, 50 years to recover it. So I need that to be realistic. And then I'll say, yeah, okay, your requirements are realistic and achievable. I believe that I'm the person to do it because. And if you want to take up testimonies, you want to take up references, they're all there for you. But I'm telling you now, I'm as good as the best and better than the rest. Another one of my great throwaway lines.
So when does it become bragging?
If you're in a business environment and you're answering a business question or making a case for yourself, never. If you stumble into a social gathering and you have someone standing there with a cocktail and goes, well, Brad is doing this and that and the other, what are you up to? That's a whole different thing. And you don't want to get yourself into a pissing contest when you have an astronaut standing next to you. So it's a matter of personal judgment. I prefer never to enter into those types of discussions. What does it matter if so-and-so gets impressed by what I'm doing or a book I've just written or a thing I've just done? Who cares? But when it comes down to professional, we're all in line that there's only so many seconds a day, so many days in a week. We sell our services in increments of time, and how we present ourselves and how we position ourselves. It's important that whoever is considering our services, they get the real assurance that we know what we're talking about and we're qualified to do it.
I think where bragging tends to come out is when people talk a lot in the past tense, when they love to tell you all the things that they've achieved. I often say to people, the further I get away from actually selling directly to a client, the better I seem to remember me being at it. In fact, I was a legend. I was so good. And but I say it in a very humorous fashion, but you do get people that tell you, they want to tell you everything they've achieved and everything they've done. It's really quite tiresome because who are they trying to impress?
I think for me, it becomes bragging when it's about, let me build myself up. Let me make myself better than you. Let me show you how awesome I am, rather than just sharing, these are the facts. This is what I can do. And here's how it works.
Something I've been working through is the balance of ego. And when we allow our ego to lead us, there's going to be a collision because we're going to overstep the mark. We have to be very, very careful with that. And that's where we have to temper that down. There's no reason to get into that. Like you said, people don't really care.
I think, Coach, that's a great thing. Their ego is a massive part of it. At the end of it, I think it's a combination, isn't it? Ego and insecurity. Why people need to build themselves up like that. And I think you're right. You can get to a stage, and we've all seen it, we've all heard it, of people who get so carried away with telling us how great they are, and you just know that they're writing checks there that their ability can't cash. And you just watch them, just think, if I could say one word to you, I'd say shut up. Is that 2 words? I'd probably say 2. Yeah, shut
Put a
up.
hyphen in it, then it's one word.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to say that is our 10 minutes. So thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me share some of my bragging. I'll talk to you all again soon.
Thank you.